I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Karina, do you have any comments on Kevin has given us this ordinance to revise the Pulaski County Health Department fee schedule?
No. This
Pretty much as it is, right? And then Kevin has handed it to us, so I assume he is good with it.
Yes, I met with the health department and through this. I think last time they did the advertising right, but this time we have, and so we've changed it to what they want the new fees to be.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve the fee schedule for the health department. Need a motion?
Yes, I would make that motion for the fee schedule.
I'll second
Any seconded? Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nathan?
Good evening, everybody. The first order of business I have is a recommendation that the board appoint Jason Potoff to a partial term on the Advisory Commission on Industrial Development ending at the end of 2025. That is the last seat we have on there. Mr. McClure had spoken with Mr. Potoff, and then I followed up, and he is interested in taking this small step and getting a little more involved in community leadership.
I'll make a motion to appoint Jason Paulo to the Industrial Development Board.
Okay,
I would second that motion.
been moved and seconded for the appointment of Jason Brodeur to the industrial development. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then if it's all right with you, I wanted to bring a couple of broadband related matters before the board this evening. As you know, we've had some conversations with a number of internet providers who are looking at submitting grant applications to the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs for their next level communications or next level connections grant, which is due on Friday of this week. I have letters of support for the project, so it's not committing the county to any financial investment in the project, it's just saying we want to see broadband brought to more of our community, and we are supportive of this project. So I have two letters that I am asking commissioners to authorize Chuck to sign on your behalf. One of them is for mainstream fiber, and the other is for NextLink fiber. NextLink already has some federal funds committed to build out in Pulaski County, and this would be a second phase for them, filling in gaps that what they've received and what others have already received are not yet addressing. We're going to find that the different applications going in are going to have some overlap, and that's going to be on the state to work with the developers to figure out if they award both, who gets what. But from my office perspective, as long as there is money flowing to support connecting more of the county, it's a win for us. So like I said, this doesn't commit us to any financial obligation, just says we support these projects.
So is there competition between those two companies?
There's probably a little bit of overlap, if only because Mainstream's plan right now covers a substantial part of the county. Whereas I think NextLink's is a little more narrowly tailored, and I think Rochester is also applying for more. And so, like I said, it may be that there's an address in the county covered by 4 different applications, and how the state chooses to award that will be based on their various scoring criteria. Also may depend in part simply on whether the project is viable on the whole. If one of them is proposing to cover 3/4 of the county, but can't come up with the financing between its own cash capital partners. Might not end up happening, but one of the others might have a somewhat humbler approach and be able to get those particular addresses into their project.
You got an email from Kurt today saying bring a proposal that was not approved.
That was when we had sought funding with through the Community Foundation's help for some. I think it might have been a kind of a combination of planning support and implementation support. But that was something that we were applying for the county's use, not that an individual provider was seeking to build out their network.
So you need, that was just now it comes up.
Yep. Yep.
So it's okay with that?
And then the only other broadband thing, it requires a public hearing, and as I was explaining to Chuck before the meeting, I need to do a little more research, but the code is pretty short. The state permits what is called an infrastructure development zone, and it can be applied to various privately owned utility facilities. So it might be natural gas pipelines, might be water and sewer that are privately owned. Broadband, as long as it meets the FCC's current definitions for high-speed internet, can also be eligible if the commissioners declare either the entire county or a certain portion or portions to be IDZs. Then without having to go through the county council tax abatement process, any qualifying infrastructure equipment that is installed is exempted from property taxes. It's a way to provide incentives to these developers without actually writing a check to support the project. So if it's all right with you, I'd like to dig into that a little bit more and then bring it to you in the form of an ordinance and a public hearing in the future.
So since it deals with tax abatements, council should probably be made aware of this?
Yes, and I will make them aware of it, but for whatever reason, the state doesn't require the actual normal abatement process that a manufacturer would have to go through. The commissioners just have the authority to declare it exempt as long as it's in that geographic area and meets the standards.
It'd be nice to have a blessing of that.
Yes, agreed. I will take that to them next week. I'll bring it up.
Anything else, man?
Not unless you have any questions for me.
Okay. Did receive a request from the prosecutor's office for the purchase of 2 cameras, flood safety cameras from the sheriff's office. Reason they're bringing it to us is they have a spending limit of $2,500. That's what each of the cameras cost. So they are wanting 2 cameras. So we would just need to approve this purchase. I think on the claim form, I think Chris is also purchasing a couple more possibly. So we just need a motion to approve the prosecutor's request to purchase 2 flood cameras at $9,000, $2,500 each.
Okay, I would, excuse me, make a motion to approve those cameras.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And looks like we have a couple of bids that have arrived. We will open those at this time. This is from the county highway work. Gary, you want to briefly describe what these bids are for?
Yes, these bids that they have submitted are for our 2023-2 community crossing matching grant, which that project will get done this summer. And so we had to let them get the 2 weeks to bid. So that's 4 projects right around here. Edges of Winnebago, we're gonna repay.
This is a town and country proposal.
Okay, Town and Country proposal is $598,679.
Should bring my letter over. And we have a second bid, Central Paving.
Central Paving is $643,404.
As in the past, we give these back to Gary for further study and make a decision down the road.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're down to other business claims and payroll 2 and 3.
Okay, I've reviewed the payroll 2 and 3. We'll separate these tonight. Make a motion to approve payroll as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then with the claims, we have one adjustment to make. Go ahead.
Okay, so on claims, I reviewed them. The one that we're going to withhold is Reeve Riley for $176,294.21, number 003080. The reason we're withholding that one is because we have not received the grant money. But I would make a motion to approve all other claims as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, been moved and seconded. And once the grant money is received, we'll be able to pay Reeve Riley. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Minutes from the January 2nd and January 16th regular commissioners meeting.
Okay, I reviewed those minutes from both of those dates, and I would make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, minutes, and then moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're down to the flexible cash rent agreement. And this is probably pretty much as it has been, isn't it, Maurice?
Yes, it's with same individual, Tim Alexander, same flexible cash rent agreement. It's just renewing it from year to year. It's worked out very well for us past several years. So I would make a motion to approve the flexible cash rent agreement as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We'll sign that. And we have an appointment of Steve Shane to the Monterey Tippecanoe Library Board, presented to us by Tony Mersch. Will you say that?
Yes.
And the letter is just the term of Steve Shank as a member of the Board of Trustees of Monterey Tippecanoe Public Library. It expires on March 7th, 2024. Steve has been a wonderful board member and has expressed his willingness to serve for another term if appointed.
I'll make an appointment to keep Steve Shank on the Tippecanoe Library.
Okay,
Okay, I'll second that.
moved and seconded for Mr. Shank to be on the board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have Treasurer Teresa Brand wanting to attend the spring conference on March 5th in Carmel, Indiana.
Okay, I would make a motion to approve that conference request.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The Highway Department has some training on April 9th and 10th.
Chuck, that is in Oregon, Illinois is where that's at. That's where they build our distributor truck and our chip boxes. And we have a new distributor coming. And I think we need to go to get trained on our new distributor that will be here. So there's a possibility of 4 guys that will be going to that. It's a 2-day class.
Yes, I was going to ask how many were going.
Yeah, last year we sent 4 and we're probably gonna send 4 this year. We've lost some help and so we got to train new ones too. So, I mean, this is a new piece of equipment, so we need to have all the training we can on it.
Okay,
Yeah, I would say that conference or that training is a good investment. I would make a motion to approve the county highway training.
I'll second.
okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? The highway training on April 9th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And, I brought this to you before on the rowing, our IT contract with rowing. And we did one more time after our last meeting to kind of finalize a contract. They presented it on, I think, the day of, or maybe a Friday before our last meeting, and it wasn't on the agenda, so we haven't discussed it before, but this is for rowing to be our main supplier, our host of the host internet, and still with the agreement with rowing and the group would still remain as our on-site people, trying to eliminate phone calls to 2 different companies. So all calls will go to Groot. If there's a major issue, well, then that will be discussed between DeGroot and rowing. So we don't have 2 people showing up to the same issue, and eliminating that conflict. And it also eliminates, not that there's been a lot of this, but eliminates blame from one company to the other. When you have something that doesn't work, you know how that goes. They should have put that in or whatever. So there's supposed to be tight communication, and that's kind of for us to monitor. Anything done needs to be approved by both companies, basically, to get rid of that. I think once the remodel is done and so on, well, then this can be let out to bids for further years. But I think putting another group in charge right now is just adding another set of hands into the fire, and we don't really need that. So with this, the rowing contract is for $168,480, and they do have a $12,000 setup fee. So the total amount of this contract is for $180,480. The group will be the help desk, support people, and the initial call person. So I would need a motion to approve the contract for, which includes setup, $180,480.
Okay, I would make a motion to approve the contract, go forward with that.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? I just might say one thing. I think when we did the interview, we had 2 companies and a couple of individuals, but I think this is comparable to what Jasper County is using with another company. But, once the bids go out in the future, we'll be able to determine that more closely. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? it, right?
Yeah.
Anything from you, Kevin?
Nope.
Laura? Anything else? Community comment?
I appreciate being able to call the groups first.
Yes. Yes. And with the contract, I forgot to mention this, but with the contract, we are top priority then. When you call Roy before, it's just, if I had a snow removal business and I had people contract, I'm gonna do that first before I go do the person that just called me. So that's another improvement, so. Okay, I just need a motion to adjourn then. Got some papers to sign.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'm sorry.
Meeting adjourned.